One of the reasons I left America, not only because I worked in a job I was miserable at, but I think maybe I'm fucked up. I don't want to be a part of these systems that I think are antiquated and just don't make sense. Like I've never been super political. If anything, I've been like apolitical. But I think the whole political system is just kind of a joke. Granted, it's a joke elsewhere in the world. The electoral college to me doesn't make any sense. How a candidate can win in the popular vote but lose the election. Like that just seems to undermine the concept of democracy. I mean, I think the whole system too is propagated by central banks, and you need a lot of money to win. And I think South Park said it best. You know, your options are a douche and a turd. Great episode. But I never identified as a Democrat or a Republican because I just thought, like, why am I going to be in a box? Like, this doesn't neatly define me. Or why can't I individually vote on specific issues? That to me would make the most sense. And I think we would have the technology with smartphones and cryptography to put everything to a popular vote. Like, I don't even know why we need... I don't know why we need representatives at this point. Why can't we just do it all by a popular vote? Like, should marijuana be legalized? You know, you put it out to the entire registered voting population, let the people vote. That to me makes more sense than having some fucking rich douchebag lawyer who like says they have my best interest in mind. That's bullshit. Like, I don't think it's democracy. I think it's the illusion of, well, that's the thing about the two-party system too. It's like the illusion of choice. Again, douche and turd. And they're probably both being backed by the same bank. I just don't want any part of that. And man, it's just so, during my time at work when I had downtime, which was a lot, I would browse like, Twitter and things like that. Everyone's just, man, so hostile. It's so toxic. I think the general vibe, the general antagonism against one another right now, I think is just disgusting. Yeah, I don't want any part of it. And like I said, I don't think any politician gives a fuck about me or you. I don't think they have my best interest in mind. They don't care. That's the thing too about the electoral. They'll go to the certain states and they'll campaign there more because they mean more, because they matter more as far as the votes. It's just like a joke. I just don't get how people think it matters. Another reason I felt like I left America is I had no interest in a lot of the American dream, marriage, house, career. Like I talked about in another video, I just think marriage is another antiquated system. It makes zero sense for a guy who does not want to have kids to get married today. Zero. What the fuck is the upside? I can enumerate exhaustively the downside. Money, 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 money. Cost, cost, cost. Potential risk, risk, risk. Versus, I don't know, what's the upside? A tax benefit of some sort? Which, if you probably ran the expected value of that tax benefit versus the liabilities, I doubt it would be positive. So, I don't want any part of this antiquated system, which I think, to the best of my knowledge, started off as like a consolidation of wealth strategy or a property exchange or something like that. And then it got convoluted with romantic love, which is also a relatively recent phenomenon. Again, I don't know. Maybe something's wrong. I just think, like, what are we doing? Why do I need all this? This is stupid. I feel like, yeah, we're living in a clown show world. Politics is definitely a fucking clown show. But marriage, why do I need this fucking contract? Why do I need this fucking government who doesn't give a shit about me to sign off on my love life? I'm good. Another thing that really bothers me, and this may seem like small and trivial, but it's particularly bothered me as some of the research I did in graduate school is the relationship between like sleep and psychopathology, and I came across a great book during that time by Matt Walker, who I believe is a Berkeley neuropsychologist or neuroscientist. He's one of the big names in sleep research, and he had a great book called Why We Sleep, and he talks about all the health correlates, the negative correlates with daylight savings time and things like heart disease. Like heart disease goes up, I believe. Accidents go up that day. I think strokes go up that next day when you change sleep. And it makes no sense why we switch back the clock twice a year now. Now, I'll be honest, I initially thought it was because of like farming they did it to get the crops to school or something, but I was like researching this before I made this video, and apparently it's not. It was designed in World War I to conserve fuel, and then it just like continuously was propagated. It's so dumb. It basically wrecks your sleep. It's so dumb, and they don't do it elsewhere in the world. Well, at least in Asia they don't. Like I remember when I was living in Thailand like 10 years ago, they didn't do it. To the best of my knowledge, Asia still doesn't operate on it. There's zero benefit for our circadian system to be doing that. Whereas there's a host of downsides, as I mentioned. So like, why are we doing this? It makes no sense. It's just, again, like once, I don't know, it's a physics term or something with things in motion, stay in motion. It's just that kind of phenomenon. And no one wants to change these things because it's not profitable. Politicians campaign on things that are profitable, that sell votes, or that are backed by, funding sources. Most people campaign, I think politics is, what is it? Economics by other means is something I heard that I like. That makes sense. I mean, politics are funded by business interests. Business interests don't care about your circadian rhythm and the potential health consequences of moving your sleep back twice a year. Another reason why I got out of America too is just I'm not buying into the dream, or I'm not buying into the myth of the career and the 40-hour work week that accompanies that. Again, just like politicians, your employers don't give a fuck about you. Okay? They are trying to get the maximum amount of value by paying you the least to prevent you from leaving. You are a good worker for 20, 30, 40 years and you get, that retirement bonus. I think that's getting increasingly rare as more and more jobs are getting displaced now by AI. I mean, who the fuck knows what the job landscape is going to look like in 10 years from now? I mean, I joked with my colleagues. I actually wasn't joking. I was half joking, and some of them thought I was crazy, but it's going to replace everything, including me. Or excuse me, including psychologists. It's a matter of time. So the idea that your job's going to be here 30 years from now, I think is wishful thinking. Again, I don't know the solution, but I don't know. I don't want to sacrifice my best years for someone who doesn't give a shit about me. I'd rather just try to make my own money. Granted, there's challenges on that side too, of course. Neither are easy, but it's pick your pain. I'd rather have the difficulty of making my own money right now, accompanied with my freedom, versus the security, or excuse me, the illusion of security of working for an employer for a certain amount of time and getting a retirement, or a pension or whatever, a 401k. I've shared with you before, one of the reasons why I wanted to work at the VA was the security. The security of the job, which, did not feel anything but secure after the last election. Uncertainty was the day-to-day. And it really taught me that too. Like, again, I'm apolitical, but when Trump came to office, there was a lot of uncertainty in the government sector. And it taught me, like, if you base your life choices on the illusion of security, you're in for a rude awakening, because there is no security. There just really isn't. Life is not secure. We want that as humans, myself included, because security equals survival in our lizard brain, but there isn't security. I think you really, that's why I think it's important also to kind of diversify your income streams. The same way you diversify your stock portfolio. Well, hopefully you do. Banking your entire financial future on one employer who, again, doesn't give a fuck about you, I think is that's certainly not secure. Speaking of banking, I mean, just another kind of pet peeve of mine that is just the entire banking system in general right now that I think is completely antiquated. I mean, why does it take me 3 days to send a payment to someone? I mean, I'm internationally right now. If I want to send money, like a large amount of money, I have to wire it, which is crazy. Like, these financial systems were built in the 70s, and if you can send an email around the world, you should be able to send money instantly. And obviously you can now with like Venmo and things like that, but there's still a delay when you like cash out. Like, I think it's ridiculous. I mean, crypto's working on solving that problem, and I think eventually, yeah, the entire financial system will be digital and instant. But right now, I mean, yeah, I fucking hate banks. I mean, they're just a fucking pain in the ass. Yeah, or you go internationally and they'll like block your card, which I get is like for fraud protection, but then like you have to talk to someone who's from fucking India. It's just like, dude, let me use my money. That's the thing about it. I feel like we don't really have access to our money. If I want to get it, I have to wait a week. If I want to send it, I have to wait, 3 to 4 days. Like, is it really your money if you don't have access to it immediately? Or the government can come in and confiscate it? Not to mention you don't get shit for your fucking money in a bank. Whereas they loan out your money and make exuberant amounts of interest. They loan out money they don't even have. I think it's called like fractional lending. They only need like X amount of percentage to loan out. Like, they only need $10 to loan out 100 or something like that. I'm butchering the math, but that's fractional lending to the best of my understanding, which is just bullshit. And that's why I hope like crypto displaces banks. Because it benefits the consumer. You're going to make a lot more money if you loaned out versus like for like peer-to-peer lending. And I think large-scale banks are one of the evils of the world that influence a lot of the politics. And like, yeah, I mean, I think the whole money system's just kind of it's just kind of made up, right? It's just monopoly money. Ray Dalio has a great book. What is it like? It's like about debt bubbles or something like that. It's basically like the American dollar is just like all these other civilizations, including the Dutch, including the British pound. They all go to zero and they get deflated. Like, our money's going to zero. It's another antiquated system. I don't know. Money's not an antiquated system, but I think like the banking rails are an antiquated system, and the dollar is going to zero. Like, plan accordingly. So yeah, I mean, yeah, this video is a little bit of a rant, and I don't have solutions to some of these. I mean, like, okay, daylight savings time, the solution is pretty straightforward. Banking, yeah, I think crypto rails that offer instant settlement are a better solution. Like, to marriage, yeah, I think, being involved in a committed relationship without the government, I think is the solution. Pretty straightforward. But for me personally, I don't really want to subscribe to these outdated systems. I don't get it. Maybe I'm I could just be a stubborn, but I think it's important to ask why we're still doing these things. Because I'm not going to wait for the government to change them, because it moves at the speed of a snail. But that's my rant for today. If there are any other systems that you think I left out, feel free to leave a comment. I can make a video about it. If there's anything else you want me to kind of touch on, let me know, and have a great day.